Next, we want to add pockets to our pants. I want to start with front pockets. By looking at my image, I think the side opening is about 3.5 to 4 inches, and opening at along the waist could be 3 to 4 inches. You can always change this later based on your image, but for now, I want to start with these measurements. I split my waistline with Edit Pattern tool, right click, split at 3.5 inches here and 3.5 inches here. Then with the internal polygon tool or G, I click on this point from here, then hold Control and drag a point here and double click here. Again, okay. With Edit Curvature tool, I can change my curvature a little bit more. You can see in your 3D garment how the curve looks like. If you have your internal line checked, you can see. Now that I'm happy with my pocket shape, I wanna copy it to the left side. For copying the line, I can choose this internal line, press Ctrl C, then choose the pattern you wanna add the internal line to, then right click and choose the mirror paste. Then try to put it at the same position and double click. Right. Okay, now we want to cut our pockets. First, we need to make sure these internal lines are extended to the pattern outline. So I choose it and right click and click on extend trim add point to pattern outline. Do the same thing here. Okay, now I can choose this line holding shift and cut it. Okay, now my pockets are made. I need to make facing for them. You need the facing for pockets because you don't want to see the edge of your pocket back fabric immediately after the pocket line. So in order to make the facing, I want to extend this edge by 1 more inch. Offset pattern outline. I choose 1 inch and here make sure you are choosing the extend option. And now we have our facing. Do the same for the other side. And now we can make our pocket bags. For the pocket bag, I use our internal polygon tool and I want to have it at around this point and up to 6 inches at width and up to here. Pocket height is now 9 inches. Could be a little bit shorter. 9 inches is a bit too much for this pant, so I can move my line up 1.5 inch or 1 to keep it 8 inch. Now I can trace it. Before that, I make sure these are extended to pattern outline. Then with trace tool, I choose this line and right click, trace as pattern. Okay. Now that I don't need these lines, I can delete them. Also, this point I can change to curve point. And remove these lines. This pocket bag will be sewn under the front part. However, it usually is extended so that we can have it folded uh, for the other part of the pocket bag. In industry, they do that to save the fabric. We can always make two pieces of these and sew them all the way together, but it's not as production friendly, or it will help you to save fabric if you just fold your pocket bag at this line. So I'm going to right click on this line and unfold and put an internal line here to know that I want to fold my pocket bag here. So this part will be folded back and will be sewn to this part. So if you put this here, you'll see that this should be sewn on top of this. However, usually this part is sewn on top of the fabric, which has the same shape of the upper body. So I can copy this shape here. I can make a copy of this and then bring that line back, trace as internal shape, and then I can cut it and remove this space. I don't need it, delete it, and then merge these two pieces together. Select this line, then this line, and merge. Okay, so this is how my pocket bag will look like. I can convert to these points to curve. And this is my pocket bag. The last piece of the pocket that we need at front is the coin pocket. So by looking at my image, I see it is 3/4 lower than waistline and it's sewn on top of the front panel pocket. So I will split my line to this line at 3/4. Draw a line. And I want to start it from 1/2 inch from here and draw a straight line here. So now I can trace this as a coin pocket. delete this line and these lines and this point. One more thing is we need a extra piece of this, a symmetrical piece, so we can press Ctrl D and have the pocket bag for our other side. Now all of our pieces for front pocket is ready. We can start sewing them. First thing, make sure these two pieces are not linked, because they are not symmetrical with sewing. Remove linked editing. Next thing, I want to add internal line on my front pocket right side because I want to later sew the coin pocket here. So I right click on this piece and clone as internal shape and put this on top of my front pocket. I don't need this line, so I can divide my internal line. This one too. And then I remove this line. Also, I want to, let's try for now how it goes. I think it's okay because I want to sew this line to this line and this edge to here. I select my pieces and right click, reset to the arrangement to have them nicely shaped, and then I want to freeze all of them so that I can do a step by step. Okay, first I start with the pocket bags and I sew the opening to the front panel. With the free sewing tool, I start from here and sew my pocket here. Now that I sew one line, I can use the function of superimpose under, but first I need to unfreeze my pieces. Now I can right click on them and superimpose under. This automatically puts my pockets on the right spot, and if I want to see how they are, I can even hide my avatar and see they are a bit wrinkled, and so I want to strengthen them to make sure they are not wrinkled. Later we want to fold them, so we need them to be flat. Now I simulate and make sure my pocket bags are flat. If you had noticed, our pant has moved down, and that is because it's open at some parts. If you want to keep your pants in the right position, you can use the attach to measure function. And you remember we had this line before and put it where we wanted pants to sit. So by choosing this tool attached to measure, I first select my upper waistband line and then click on the measurement. And I do it all around. Now if I simulate, my pants will go back and sit where they were supposed to sit. Only this part I missed. I can do it again. So our pants are sitting nicely where they are supposed to sit. One point about this seam, we need to make sure it is turned. You click on it with the edit sewing tool and see this option. You should mark it as on because this seam needs to be turned to look flat. Now looks better. Next thing, you want to start sewing these pieces. This is small pieces, and you need one seam to be done for using that superimpose option. We sew the upper edge to the waistband. With the free sewing tool, I start with the side seam to this point, and I can see it is here, and the blue point appears, shows the right amount of length. So I click on the blue point. I do the same thing for the other side. From the side seam, I go to the blue point. Okay. These seams don't need to be turned because they are going in straight into the waistband. So don't worry to make them turned. Just unfreeze these pieces, both of them. And then right click and use the function superimpose side. Okay, I want to hide the avatar again to see how they are inside. They are a bit wrinkled. First, we need to strengthen them. And then you simulate. They are not in the right position. So I prefer to use the gizmo for this part. Use the gizmo to put this in right angle and position. Okay. Now I think we are in a better position. Let's simulate one more time. Yes. Just know that these pockets should be behind the pocket bag, but they need to be sandwiched between these two parts of the pocket bag. So now our pocket bag are in good position. We can sew this side part to the back with free sewing tool. I start from this side that I can see in 3D window and sew it to the back from top to the blue point, and sew the other side as well. And there is a small part inside. We can sew from here towards front, and we sew this to the waistband. And again from here to here, we sew it to waistband. So make sure you're starting from the right point. Okay. Now that we have sewn our front pocket, we can start folding our pocket bag. For the folding, we use this tool. Click on the internal line we want to fold around and choose one of the arrows, the arrow we want to fold to the side that we want. Just make sure you are not going out of your garment too much. I think this much should be okay, but shouldn't go out a lot. And on the property editor, your fold angle should be 0. The same we do for the other side. This side, the red is my arrow. So the fold angle should be 0. And simulate. You see our pocket bags are nicely simulated. Now we can start sewing edges of pocket bag together. I use section sewing tool for sewing the bottom edges and free sewing tool for this part. And these seams all should be turned. And the upper edge we can sew to the waistband. I start from side seam to here and sew it to the waistband from side seam. We have a notch at our side seam to the blue point. And again this side seam to fold line from side seam to the blue point. And simulate again. Okay, pocket seems stable. We can also sew this small part on top together just to have it closed. Okay, now it's the time to sew the coin pocket. With a free sewing tool, I sew this part to this part and this curve to this curve. Then unfreeze the coin pocket. Right click, superimpose over because it's going over this piece. And then simulate. Looks pretty good. Now we can unstrengthen our pocket pieces. Now we can bring our avatar back and simulate. Okay, looks pretty good. I even can remove the attached measured function. I need to first stop simulation, then right click and detach all from avatar measure. Choose that. I think it is still on. Okay, now I think it's off. Yeah, see, it's sitting better. Okay, we are done with our pocket bags. See you in next video for sewing the zipper.